I'm glad that's been taken care of, but I feel like that's more of just like an ego thing from management who really needs to like go to therapy and seek professional help more. And like I feel like the actual cause still remains and isn't has not really been fixed. It's just been muted due to the whole COVID thing happening. But it also affects different parts of life, which is the whole meeting people in person now and changing that to a whole different way of living. So not the best overall in my experience, but it's still nice to talk to somebody who enjoys designing and like just get to like actually talk about that stuff with somebody in a professional sense is really cool to me. I really never thought that I'd ever really do anything with this after graduation. Like I wanted to believe, and I mean I'm doing it kind of not as much as I would like, but I guess I just have to be patient. I'm not really quite sure, but it's dope seeing everything that they're working on and just talking to them about just regular life stuff as well as just I don't know, they get to see what I'm doing, and what I lack in is for some reason perfectionism has destroyed my mind and I'm still trying to work out like where it was that really latched on to me as a human, at what point in my life that really started to take hold, because everything that I do I don't share, and I'm trying to learn how to fix that and learn how to share more stuff with people so then I can be seen and other people will notice me and see my stuff, and I will, man, I say and a lot. I have to stop paying attention to that, but it's nice making stuff and doing stuff, and it's wow, let me try and do that again. It's nice making stuff, showing it to my mentor with his feedback, being like, wow, this stuff is cool, like you definitely have an eye for this stuff, whereas because it's just my brain and me, I'm like, is this enough, is this good enough, or is this not good enough? I don't know. Getting stuck in that time loop or bad brain fog and not knowing if what I'm doing is enough or not really messes me up. So it's cool to like really get feedback from other people in what I'm doing, and it's been extremely incredible, and I'm glad for it. That's been my mentorship. That's been the one aspect in my life so far, and me just going, yep, I think that's good. What am I even saying anymore? So outside of the mentorship, I think the biggest thing that I guess I can talk about is the change in jobs. And that whole experience was hell. I don't know my issue with finding work. I know the job market is dog shit, but also I don't feel like I can blame everything on just that. It's also just my demeanor in finding another job has always been difficult, and I guess just always scared of really trying to find work because I don't know what I want to do and do it over and over and over again and not feel this incredible insanity of doing it over and over and over again. But my last job was not it, that's for sure. I can tell you that one with no problem whatsoever. And let me just say that I know for a fact that people my age, there's tons of us, and some of us are working in fast food conditions. My heart goes out to you. It means absolutely nothing, but I feel your pain, and I think a lot of other people feel your pain. you are not alone. It has been an extremely difficult time. It's an extremely difficult season, year, decade of experience with work for us, and it's ridiculous what we deal with on a regular basis. And talking to the older people, like family wise, is useless from my point of view, at least. Like it's crazy. We live in cuckoo land. Like the normality of 40 hours a week, you know your coworkers by the end of the year more than you know your own family, just because of the fact that you see your coworkers for 8 hours a day, which I think is cool if you get along with your coworkers, but there's also the chance that you don't get along with your coworkers and you hate each other and you have to see each other for 8 hours a day. For my example, management, the shit that I put up with for 3 years is insanity. I worked in a printing shop, and I just have to say, I don't think I'm ever going to work in a printing shop ever again, because that experience was absolute dog shit. I don't know, it's just the work is monotonous if you're not in a good printing shop, or if you like the monotony. Maybe it was just that experience because it was a corporate printing shop. I'm not really quite sure. Maybe when somebody ever gets back to me on my hiring applications, I'll get to experience a different thing. I don't know, but yeah, I had to call HR on a supervisor that I didn't even work with, by the way. Didn't even work with them. Yes. I'm gonna be fine. So I had to call HR on my supervisor, and that was really cool. For context, I didn't work with him. I mean, this is just a stranger and it's only one viewpoint, but I mean, I'm gonna explain what I did or what they did, and you can be my witness on whether or not I deserve to be mistreated in a negative way. But so one big thing that happened was I got blamed for overprinting something. Now remind you that I made sure to explain to them that I had under a year of experience and no experience working with big printing operations or machinery. Old people be damned, they didn't listen. And I overprinted something. So they got into a big fuss, and apparently the manager got very angry with my supervisor or ex-supervisor and told him that he had to write me up, which I was perfectly fine with. And they brought me into the office. They told me what was going on. I had no clue. But the biggest and worst problem of it all was I didn't overprint anything. And I had physical proof that I didn't overprint anything. And that was the part that really got me to where I was like, wow, what did I do to deserve this type of weird punishment thing where they didn't even talk to me. They didn't work it out because all I had to do was go into the computer's database to find the amount that I printed was correct, and they didn't do that. And they had all morning to do it. And it was just so odd to me because I was like, wow, that's crazy. They tried to get me in trouble for something that didn't happen. And in fact, I found out that from looking at the database that the morning people messed up on a big order, and as far as I know, nobody talked about that. And instead everyone focused on the fact that there was this fake mishap that happened that I had done, which was not the case. And yeah, it just, I don't know, it was just the first bite of it all, where the next things that sort of happened were just being overly analyzed on camera and through morning supervisors, which again, I do not work with them. I never worked with them. And yet they had the audacity to point and nitpick at everything that I did And I would repeatedly say in training and in the year prior that, hey, I've only had 2 years of experience. I've only had 1 year of experience. I I left with 3 years of experience, and I know a lot more now. But when I say that I'm not going to use it ever again because they left such a bad impression, I really mean that. And it's really sad that this is just how I guess work really is. I've worked in different places, and it's almost identical to every place. I will say my supervisor, who actually worked with me, he was a pretty chill person. Was he the best? Absolutely not. Was Did he have some flaws? Of course, we all do. But everyone else in his position was dog shit. And it's so odd to me. Just, I don't know. And like talking to my coworker about it, shut up, Ben. Talking to my coworker about it, apparently this is like all normal. I mean, there's parts that I've never experienced that I brought up, and it was just like, yep, that's just how it is. Like, what do you mean that's just how it is? Why is that just how it is? That's so weird and dumb and stupid. That doesn't make any logical sense at all for any of this. And yet this is just what we live in, and nobody deals with it, and nothing changes, which is just super goofy. But after the small nitpicks happened and the morning supervisor trying their best to get me in trouble and that big incident, I called HR and I let them know everything that was going on. Now, besides being called out for something that I didn't do, the morning supervisor would stare at me almost every single day that I would walk into the building. And I'm not talking about like, ooh, he's looking kind of nice today. It was like, I'm gonna kill you. I don't like you. I'm gonna kill you. Like, those were the eyes that I was getting. And it was super goofy to me because I I don't know really what I did. Whereas I came in every day and I just was always friendly, and I said hi. Some days I didn't want to be there, but that didn't really describe how I was feeling towards them at all. This is before everything that happened because I did call them out on their bullshit, and I let them know that I wasn't just going to let them walk over me, which I think really upset their, I don't know, something's making me want to say narcissism, but I don't even think it's just that either. I think it's just their ego with having. I'm really starting to believe that a lot of human beings are not allowed to have, or should not be allowed to have, any amount of power above another person because they lack control and understanding of what it means to be a leader. And it really sucks that it seems like it's a lot of people that are in charge, because I feel like it could be a lot different if it was just other people, or if it just was a lot different in like how leadership works. I don't think we're ever gonna see that. But yeah, so I called HR, and apparently people told me that HR was meant to just help the supervisors, and they were kind of right. I'm not gonna lie, it was really upsetting. That was my first experience ever calling HR, and it did not help at all, and I felt like crying. And the best part was I kind of was the one that got in trouble for calling HR. I was being watched through a camera because I I let them know that, hey, I'm being mistreated, and they're like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Maybe you're doing your job wrong, even though the point of me calling was the fact that they thought I was doing my job wrong when in fact they were doing their job wrong, and they wouldn't just look through a database, which took like 5 seconds. And instead, hey, you're going to be watching the camera now, so make sure you do your job right, or you're going to be in trouble. And that did happen. Not necessarily where I got written up, because I did let my supervisor know, like, hey, if anything really does happen and they want you to write my name up, you can do it yourself. I'm not doing it. It doesn't matter to me. Also, super racist. Good God, super racist. That is the one flaw that my supervisor had. Calling the only black male that worked the night shift a boy to my face, and then thinking I was going to laugh when instead I looked at them with such hate and disgust in my eyes. Like, come on. I don't get it. I just don't understand people anymore. People are just so goofy to me. I don't know. It was only one experience, but like also just like write up differences for things that I did in the past where they did and they got punished for it a lot more than me. And it was just like, but why though? Like I did that too. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, shit's weird. I don't know. I don't know how to. People need to get their brain checked or something, or I don't know, something. Something has to change because it's just not working in what we're doing anymore. And even just putting in my 2 weeks, that felt amazing. But just how you're treated through putting in your 2 weeks is completely insane. You could work there for 5-10 years and they would still try and spit in your face for stopping this monotonous slavery, or doing this monotonous bullshit work that has no meaning or life or purpose, and they clearly can see it, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna treat you like shit now. It's just like, why? What did I do? I don't get it. Okay. It's just so strange to me. They did basically the same thing that they did when I called HR for them. They completely ignored me. They didn't apologize. They didn't say goodbye. Nothing. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but I was holding out a little hope. What really put me over the edge, though, was the supervisor, or, well, the reason why I put in my 2 weeks was because of the morning supervisor that I called the HR on. I did something a little wacky, nothing too crazy, but I was being a little goofy, but like in a fun way that other people laughed and was like, oh, Nico, you're so funny. But he went out and was like, I don't know about that guy. That guy's kind of weird. No, buddy. You're the weirdo. You're the problem. You are a weirdo. What are you talking about? Like, this is what I mean by, like, how delusional people are in high positions. Like, you really need, like, you have so much money. You make more money than any young person working at 9 to 5, and yet you don't have a shrink. Like, you should get 12 of them. Forget having a house and a wife. You should think about getting a shrink and spending the rest of your life working out all of those problems that you got going on in your twisted little mind. Because, good God, I was thinking to myself, like, this job that I have now, I'm not making any money. I was making good money with my last job, but I'm not making anything now. And honestly, I kind of prefer it. I have a lot of free time. I'm working on my other hobbies, and I kind of enjoy the work. I wish it paid more, but sadly, life and how America's capitalist society works does not fit that type of mold. And you know what? I don't care anymore. My mental state and my sanity is much more important than how much money I make. I wish it was different. I really do. I'm still striving to make this work, and it's extremely hard. And some days I really want to cry and break down and stop, but I know I can't do that. So I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. That's all I tell myself. That's all I can tell myself. So that was the reason why I quit my job. I was searching for, like, I guess, an answer. I was really like thinking, like, should I keep this job or should I not keep this job? But then once that happened, and I stopped. It was over. It was like, no, I'm not doing this. And then they openly, my supervisor. This is where my supervisor was cool, because they openly were like talking about what they were saying about me. Now that I was leaving, it was like, oh, he's given up. He sucks. Why doesn't he just quit? It's like, I actually didn't want to put my 2 weeks in. I wanted to just leave, because I don't even care if I don't have enough money to pay for something anymore. I would rather be a barista working for $9 an hour. So after my supervisor told me all of this stuff, I just said, like, I could just leave. I don't really care. I don't know why they think I care, because throughout this whole 3 years, I've done everything I could to just not really do the work in a robotic way, Like, I would do things in order to get away with just not doing the work the way they wanted me to, because I don't know. I don't feel like I can't do it. I don't know. It's a bunch of bullshit. So yeah, that's done. And now I'm a photographer. Yep, that's what I do now. I'm a photographer. And so far it's pretty cool. I make jack shit and I'm part-time, but fuck, it's so nice having I can't say any of this. It pays jack shit, but it's part-time and I feel pretty good overall with what I'm doing. So I don't really care. I get to meet a lot of people. I think it's really helpful with networking and communicating, honestly, because it's just new people every minute. Not really the kids, which is the only bad part. Some of them are some of them are very smart, and it's very nice to see, and some of them are very kind and very funny, and just seeing that, like, I don't know, humanity, and not being around like people that give me like fuck you eyes and stuff, or I'm gonna strangle you type of eyes, is like really cool. Like, I'm super happy that I don't have to deal with the fear of being looked at like they're gonna stab me or something. So that's really cool. And also just other photographers, other artists, like actually working with other people that are working towards their dreams, and it's a creative outlet is so cool. And honestly, the first day I kind of broke down crying, just because it felt like, wow, this is where I should have been for so long. And instead, I wasted my time learning this thing that I thought was going to be beneficial for my design career. And instead, it was really just a waste of time. The only real benefit of it all was paying off a lot of my debt that I owed for numerous amounts of things, working on health issues through insurance, and mental health as well being a really big thing. With I think really that's why I took on the job in the first place, was just to get this whole mental thing started and work on like IOP, group therapy, regular therapy, one-on-one therapy, and working up to where I am now. But overall, it was just a big waste of time. And it's just really nice that I can see that now, and I'm getting to a point where it's good. I feel I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be a lot more now. And that's what I should be focusing on. Positive things. So I just have this deep fear now, and I don't know if it was ingrained from that job or whatever. I mean, I've had it for like a while now with like a lot of the jobs that I had, but just like I now more than ever, just getting older, is like, oh shit, like I actually need a job and I need to be able to pay for stuff, or I'm going to die, and nobody will care, and that's extremely strange to me and very creepy and super negative. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, everyone feels that way, at least in my age bracket, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of cool that we're just all dealing with that, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of intense to me, and yet like none of the older people who just have given up, it's, put it in the shortest terms, care. And it's really weird. It's really weird. It's like I'm living in bizarro world, but what do I know? you know I'm just a guy with a voice. I'm just a non-binary little boy, girl thing, person, goofball, moron, art guy. That's all I got. But yeah, I mean, I think that's, did I talk about opening up a shop? Yep, I'm opening up a shop. I'm really trying to, I guess, let the government have more of me online, and just, having more of my information out there, and just sharing more of myself, which I think that part is a good thing. The other part, that's kind of where my brain is on like why I don't like sharing stuff in general, especially with the government and weirdo people. But I mean, as an artist, I guess I don't really have a choice. So I don't know. A shout out to the 3 people that watch me though. Hey. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, I feel like a seal. I feel like a circus seal. I feel like a seal in the circus. And I gotta jump through hoops and clap my hands just to get some food, or I'm gonna die. And the amount of hoops that I have to jump through are like in different shapes, in different sizes, and they're all on fire, and they have spikes on them, and some of them like kind of like shock you, and it's really like scary. And yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. But like the amount of work you got to put into, I should have paid attention more about like in school, like in high school or middle school, I guess. I really should have put in my entrepreneurship to work by the time I was 8 years old. But no, it's really crazy just like going to fairs and festivals and seeing like artists at their booths, and they have those dead sad eyes, and it's like, oh shit. Like, at least it gives us something to talk about, because I'm like, hey, I see you, and it's like, I feel that, and they're like, oh, you strange human, yeah, oh, you're an artist too, oh, okay, cool, we're chill, we're rocking. And it's like, yep, we're in this together, even though I'm never gonna see you again. But it's super disheartening, I have to say. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm opening up an Etsy shop though. I have this YouTube channel. I have Instagram now. I'm posting on there, not frequently yet, but I'm hoping to change that with the fact of how much free time I have. Just in order to, I guess, make a living out of my artwork, which is extremely strange to me, but that is the normality of it all, and I have no say in it. So, boo-hoo, I gotta get over it, I guess, and just keep on swanging. So, yep, that's work. That has been work. That is the changes that I've made. If you have an awful place that you're working at, quit that shit and find something that you enjoy, or you know what? Work with dogs. Work with dogs. Just don't work with people. People are the worst. I don't know how else to explain it. Work with cars, anything. It's just not worth working with people anymore. At least people in high positions. That was the one problem that I've had with the photography job. We were forced to sit down for one whole day of our work schedule, which, I mean, hey, I mean, it's free money, but at the same time, I was like, I have to listen to these people talk about how they started up their business. Like, I don't care. I don't care who you are. I'm just trying to work, and I'm gonna put in like as much effort as I can. But like, hey guys, come over here. Like, this is how it sounded. It's just like, hey guys, come over here and smell this fart that I just made, and tell me how good it smells. It's like, I don't care, man. I'm not here for you. I'm here just to try to survive, because this is the way that the American corruptive world works now. I have no real choice against it besides revolting, but I can't do it alone, so I'm stuck doing this work. But it's just crazy. Like, just sitting there, it's just like, wow, people have really bad egos. Like, it's insane. It's, like, you really think I need to know the history of what you take photos? What is there to get? There, you don't do anything crazy. You're just doing stuff. That's it. And I don't really know. I don't know. I have no idea. I think it's beneficial for me to try and really get this like freelance stuff working. I'm gonna be honest, don't know how to get that really started, but I don't know. I feel like I just have to be my own coworker, because I can't, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore with this stuff. And this is where the sad voice comes into play. And I don't know, I'm not really that sad though. It's just, I wish you didn't have to destroy yourself just to be able to afford food, afford living in a house, and not underneath a bridge or no bridge at all, and just the side of a road. It's really just weird to me why we were born into a life like this. But I was, and I have no say. So, don't know. Don't know. Wow, that went really dark. But yeah, it's just, yeah, we just sat there watching these weird videos from 2005. Like, you could tell that they weren't recent either. Like, no one even wanted to put in the effort to change anything to make it more recent of like a time. Like, why, if you're gonna show something, why not update it to the point where it's where the time should be? And instead you're just showing us something that if you didn't put any effort into, why do you think anyone's going to care to want to pay attention to what you're doing? Like, well, what makes you think that you're special if you don't even put in effort to change what you're doing? I don't know. It's weird to me. It's just weird to me. It's so strange. It makes no sense at all why we're like this, why humanity is like this at all. I've been reading a lot of books. That's been really cool. Really putting in like a lot of time into that. Not really at all. No, I've been reading Howard Zinn's The People's History. I think that's how it goes. I'm starting The Dawn of Everything. I've been reading books on witchcraft, just beginning that, and alchemy, and the Kama Sutra? Some yogi stuff, and really just trying to get into like our politics. I guess I never thought that was going to happen, but I guess when you become an old wet bag of tofu, that's just kind of how life goes. I don't know. But learning our actual history has been very enlightening. And enlightened has really enlightened me. Not with my speech, though. And it really has just made me go, why are we doing this even more? So, yay. Thanks, Howard Zinn, for being that guy to make me feel sad, even though that's not the point. I know, but yeah, that's what I've been reading, at least. And also like fiction, non-fiction, biographies, stuff like that. I try to mix it up and make it either audible book or physical book. And really, I've been reading a lot more physical, but it really is easier just to read an audiobook. I mean, you're not even reading it, you're listening to an audible book. But I'm doing my best to try and take in as much knowledge as I can from different things. But as well, I'm trying to do that physically. Little harder, but it also helps with me going to my local library and reading books there. So that's been pretty cool, at least, and experiencing that part of life and how dead libraries are in some occasions. But yeah, there's a lot of books there, so that's all that matters. And yeah, it's been pretty cool. And what I've been reading, I don't want to go into too much detail because a lot of the stuff I'm reading is really sad and not positive. And I want you to have more of a positive experience while I'm drawing and I'm talking about myself, you know, being that egotistical maniac that I was just complaining about. But hey, if you can't beat them,